Welcome back to Simple Sourdough. I'm happy to see that you enjoyed our last video on the walnut bread. Today I'm going to show you how to make a sourdough focaccia. This is a quite easy recipe, and with this recipe you can actually make the bread and eat it at the same day. It's a big misconception that you always have to make a sourdough bread and then let it cold ferment for the day after. It's not always necessary. So this will be a quick approach to sourdough focaccia, and you guys will have to tell me if this is the correct way to do it or not. Right here we got a strong white flour. This one is from Denmark, and this one has around 10.5 grams of protein. So it's not that strong, but it's just perfect for this type of bread. We got some warm water. We got some extra virgin olive oil. We got some nice salt here from a salt center close to our city. And we got our sourdough here. The sourdough is beyond its peak, which means it has peaked and then it's starting to come down a little. And that works great for this type of bread, because if you have a sourdough that's a bit more acidic and you want to eat the bread on the same day, it will also work faster and it will proof your bread a bit faster. So now, if you are new to this channel, as always, please like the video and please subscribe to our channel to help us out. And let's begin. Okay, so first I'm just going to explain the recipe. I'm not going to make this in a traditional way, how you would make a sourdough loaf. I want to make this as easy as possible. So here we got 380 grams of lukewarm water. Trying to be pretty precise here because the dough will be highly hydrated. Just about 80% hydration. Here I got 15 grams of olive oil. If you're making a brioche or any kind of bread that has butter or fat, you want to add the fat last. Here we got 12 grams of salt. And now I'm going to add my sourdough, 150 grams of sourdough. So that's a bit more than we are usually using in our normal bread. Using my hand to just whisk it out. Like that. And now I have 500 grams of strong white flour. I'm going to bring the camera over here so you can see how it looks like when I'm mixing the dough. I'm starting out on low speed, and I just want the dough to come together. Turning up the speed a bit. So because we have some oil in the dough, it's sometimes harder to bind the ingredients on the edges. So I'm just using a dough card to scrape down the sides and get everything into the dough. I'm going to keep mixing. Now I'm going at a higher speed. And now I'm just going to mix until everything comes together. Okay, so our dough has been mixing for around 3 minutes at a medium speed. And now I'm just going to turn off the machine. And now you can see there's not much structure at all. So I want the dough to just relax like we would in an autolyse. So I'm checking back on this dough in 30 minutes, and then I'll show you how we are mixing it from there. So here the dough has rested for 30 minutes, and now it's time to mix it again. And this is what we call interval mixing. And this works for when you're making bread as well, or any type of other dough, especially if it's highly hydrated, then this is a good technique. And you can clearly see how the dough is coming together now. And at this stage it's done, and then we don't need to mix it any further. The dough is grabbing the hook, and that's just an indicator that we have enough strength to continue. Now we have enough strength to proceed for our next step. And we want to get some kind of container for our focaccia. And to prepare that, just going to give it a bit of fat. And this is not very traditional, but I'm using a parchment paper because I don't have a very nice container for my focaccia. So I'm just going to do like this. That means it's easier to get a nice shape on the parchment paper. The oil will help to hold the parchment paper a little bit. Now I'm going to add a bit of oil to my parchment paper. And this is olive oil. Just around 2 tablespoons. Using my dough card to transfer my dough. And now I just want it to relax in this container. So now our focaccia has proofed for 3 hours. I'm leaving the shop very soon, but I just want to finish off the video. But I could have let this one proof a bit more, then it would become way more bubbly. So now it's time to dress our focaccia. I have preheated my oven back here on 240 degrees. I have all my components, and this is just the stuff that I like to put on my focaccia. You can put all kinds of other stuff as well. Here in Denmark we also have a sweet version of this type of bread, where we are putting some browned sugar and some butter on top, and then it's served as a cake. We got some fine sea salt here, and let's get started. Very first thing, I'm going to put some olive oil on top, and I'm not holding back. I'm pushing it down with my fingers. And I can feel that this dough is filled with air. So satisfying. Going to put my components on top. Tomatoes, olives, without the stone. Some people like to push it a bit down in the dough, putting a lot of rosemary. And to finish it off, just going to add some nice flaky sea salt. And that's it. It's time to bake our wonderful focaccia. And I have my oven here preheated for 240 degrees. I'm going to put it in. And then I'm adding a bit of steam because that will help the dough expand better, and it will also give a nice crust on top of our focaccia. So a bit of water on our bottom tray. Now I'm turning down the oven to 200 degrees, and the total baking time for this bread is around 20 to 25 minutes. Just take a look at it after 20 minutes and decide if it's ready or not. Some people like it a bit more dark on the surface, and some people prefer it to be way more light. Okay, so the focaccia has baked for 25 minutes. It has a nice brown golden color, and it smells amazing in this place. So let's take a look. Amazing. Okay, so I'm just going to use a fork to lift it up. Remember, baking paper is never hot. So just slide it off like that. This is amazing. I'm going to cut a slice. Normally I would let this rest for a bit. And this is amazing. I'm going to eat it right away. Thank you all for watching. See you again next time. Please like and subscribe to our channel if you want to see more content. We are working on some lamination with croissants and pastry right now, so hopefully we are ready to shoot some videos about that very soon. See you next time.